Ronnie-Ward from the Dimmest section of the Flatbush neighborhood, Brooklyn, and the city of New York. It's Sunday, the 11th day of January 2026, and this is Face the Nation. Aired 3 hours ago, about noontime Eastern Standard Time in the city of New York on CBS.
Welcome back to Face the Nation. We want to take note of something that President Trump told the New York Times last week as we move on to a discussion of the international challenges that the country faces. He was asked in a wide-ranging interview if there were any limits on his global powers. And Mr. Trump said, yeah, there is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. One test looming large at the moment is in Iran, where the death toll from violent protests is growing as the government intensifies its crackdown. And at this point, there is no alternative government standing by if this regime should fall. MTS Tayyip has the latest reporting from London.
They chant death to the dictator as unrest across Iran only intensifies and as the death toll rises. International rights groups say at least 190 demonstrators have been killed and more than 2,300 arrested as security forces continue to crack down hard. Cell phone videos show government buildings on fire and even a mosque, scenes once unthinkable as symbols of the theocratic regime are targeted by protesters. These videos, verified by CBS News and other media outlets using satellite imaging, GPS codes, and sources on the ground, show anger that began over rising inflation and a collapsing currency has morphed into something more explosive, open defiance of the repressive state, including in Mashhad, Iran's second largest city, where thousands flooded the streets overnight and blocked roads, with some chanting, "Long live the king." While in the capital, Tehran, this video shows a mass protester holding up a photo of Reza Pahlavi, the US-based son of Iran's last Shah, who was ousted in 1979. A divisive figure with no organized movement inside Iran. But for some protesters, Pahlavi has become shorthand for anything but the Islamic Republic.
America has already lost the game.
Iranian state TV has accused the U.S. of being behind the unrest and aired images of pro-government rallies. But scenes like this continue to tell a different story, as Iran's leadership only tightens its grip, including imposing a sweeping communications blackout that has seen the internet cut and international calls blocked. President Trump has warned Tehran against killing protesters.
If they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground.
As President Trump pledges to support the protesters, a senior U.S. official has confirmed to CBS News the president has been briefed on new options for military strikes in Iran. And in his first public remarks since the protests have intensified, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian accused the U.S. and Israel of, quote, sowing chaos and disorder by ordering what he described as riots. He also promised to address the economic crisis that triggered the unrest. The question now is whether Iranians believe him or whether it's already too late. Margaret.
Imtiaz, I know you've been covering Iran for a long time, including on the ground. There have been protests before that have been just brutally suppressed. What's different this time?
You know, Margaret, on the one hand, this feels very familiar, and on the other, it feels very different. Iran, as you've mentioned, has seen major uprisings before. The 2009 Green Movement, the 2019 fuel protests, and 2022's Women Life Freedom Movement. Each had its trigger, each was met with brutal force, and each was eventually crushed. What's new now is the layers of crises facing the regime. Iran has a collapsing currency. There are chronic power and water shortages. It faces punishing sanctions, and it's still absorbing the aftershocks of last year's 12-day war with Israel. I was in Iran right after that war, and people were already quietly questioning the regime's competence and its vulnerabilities. Now those vulnerabilities are loudly being tested in the streets. And there's another crucial difference here. Symbolism. We've seen statues of the supreme leader set on fire, surveillance cameras ripped down, as well as chants for the monarchy. This is not nostalgia. This is a rejection of the Islamic Republic, and the danger for the leaders in Tehran is simple. Once the fear breaks, it's very hard to put back.
MTSI will continue to track these protests. Thank you, Imtiaz. We go now to Richmond, Virginia, where we find Senator Tim Kaine, who has oversight in foreign relations.